So Sarah Kennedy, I am the Director of Human Resources, and I've been at Philadelphia Mixing Solutions for a little over 3 years. I met Jim, I went to one of his seminars probably more than a decade ago, and really liked what he did, and he and I have partnered together at a couple of the organizations that I've worked for. One of the first pieces of feedback that I got was that staff really wanted a better culture. And I talked with Jim about that, and we engaged in this process where we utilized every employee's voice to figure out what our cultural values could be. To determine our cultural values, what Jim did is took us through a process where we engaged all the employees through live meetings here in Palmyra, conference calls with outside staff, and even a trip to England to utilize the group there. We let every employee talk about what are the values that should be a part of our culture, and then after we determined those 6 values, what are the things that define them. So the process that we went through to determine our cultural values really began with as simple as note cards. So what Jim took us through was handing note cards out to everyone and letting them write down what's a word or a phrase that's important to them for the kind of culture that they want to work in. And we collected these note cards. I think at one point we had between 200 and 300 of them. And Jim and I stacked them and sorted them and tried to combine ones where it made sense. In the training, if there was a card that had a really specific concept on it or a different idea, we would ask that person to share that with the group and kind of work that through. So that process of using cards and voting really let people make their voice part of the process. And it was really striking how similar the sessions were, that it kind of kept coming back to the same 12 or so behaviors that people wanted from a good place to work. The culture before I got here was certainly very different. The leadership was different. I don't think it was a culture that really listened and engaged people. And one of the things through the process with Jim that we've really worked on is asking and listening to feedback and incorporating that feedback from all employees in the decisions that we make. We're really excited. In our second year in the survey in 2017, we placed number 20 on the Best Places to Work survey out of employers in Pennsylvania. I really enjoy working with Jim. I've worked with him at a couple of different organizations now. What I appreciate about Jim is he asks good questions and he listens and really tries to understand what's going on with his customers. He does a really nice job of balancing what his core message is and what the core beliefs are for his material with what the organization needs. Jim is somebody that I can call him up and kind of run a crazy idea by him, or if something's kind of bubbling at work and I'm not sure if it's a training issue or if I should talk about it in another way. He's a great person to just bounce ideas off of. What I appreciate about working with Jim is that he doesn't just sell us an off-the-shelf product. He really listens, he engages, and he tries to adapt the material to make sure that it's meeting our needs and that it works and is really addressing the training issue that we've got.